to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah, Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand.
Come, let us work hand in hand to build Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I want to welcome you to the hub. And again, it's another opportunity that you and I have to converse, to talk. Every night from 8 to 9, we engage meaningfully using radio and social media to connect. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. When you share the live, you afford your friends, your colleagues, the opportunity to be a part of the dialogue, the conversation. Tonight, I want to start off by again asking the question, why should anyone be angry because Grenada is doing well with its citizenship by investment program? Why would you be angry? Why would you be pissed? I could see you being angry if there is some corruption. I could see you being angry if some con man happened to come through the program or slip through the program. I could see that. But when good news comes out saying Grenada's program is one of the best, saying that we have actually, for the first time, realized $1 billion EC in revenue from that program. So more and more people are attracted to Grenada's program. And we are ranked as one of the best in terms of due diligence, background checks, checking the people who are applying, who want to get a citizenship from Grenada. So it's not like we are so desperate that anybody could come and they will get. So I do not understand why the opposition forces so angry, so bitter, so pissed that the program is doing well. And we are realizing more and more revenues from that program. This is the same money or revenue that we need to fix the schools, to fix the roads, to fix the medical stations, to fix the general hospital, to invest in youth, to invest in elderly folks, farmers, just name it, to invest in women, the development of women, to invest in education. That's the same money we need. So why would you be angry that Grenada is doing well? So they saw this article, the NNP surrogates and pundits, because they hate to hear something good about Grenada. And that's the honest truth. They do not like to hear good news about Grenada. So why would you be angry? Why would you be pissed? If you say you love Grenada, you should be happy that this program is doing well and that we are realizing revenues that can be used in many different areas to build this economy. And while I'm on that note, I want to congratulate the team who went to the United Kingdom to participate, as usual, in the Chelsea Flower Show as the premier show in the UK. All right, the RHS Chelsea Flower Show, the Royal Hospital Grounds, right? At the Royal Hospital Grounds. So that show is a big, big show, and Grenada, again, can celebrate that they actually won the highest honor in that show. All right. I think it's the president, is it the President's Cup? Something around that, or the President's trophy, something around there. So again, Grenada is victorious, and we are happy about that. We congratulate the entire team who went to the show and who, organized the thing. They have been doing that for many, many, many years. So again, we want to congratulate them and wish them all the best. So I was saying to you, I listened to the opposition forces with their talk programs because they have a lot of talk shows. And because they saw that article, Caribbean Times, right, out of St. Kitts and Nevis, speaking to how the Grenada program is doing so well compared to other programs, specifically the St. Kitts and Nevis program. So they saw that article, and because they hate the fact that the NDC administration is doing well, is in government and managing the economy well, and programs like the Citizenship by Investment program, it is managed well, and things are happening there. They angry, they blue, they vex. But why? Why should you be vexed that Grenada is doing well, that the citizenship program in Grenada is doing well? They do not want the people of Grenada to succeed. The NNP surrogates and pundits, they do not want Grenada to develop. They do not want Grenada to transform. They do not want prosperity and betterment for you. They don't. So anything that's good, any good news, they will condemn it. They would cook up stories to come and counter it. They would criticize. That is what they're accustomed to. They have become so bitter that they cannot see good in nothing. So right now, for example, the Royal Grenada Police Force, they are doing a very good job. Over the weekend, the amount of firearms that they were able to seize, to get from people, illegal firearms, guns that are illegal. So they did searches, they did a number of operations, or conducted a number of operations over the weekend. And they were very successful. But those on the opposition side, they would not come out and commend or applaud the Royal Grenada Police Force. No, they're quick to condemn. And look, there are times you can criticize, you can condemn. Nothing wrong with that. But when they're doing good, you must also come out and applaud them, commend them, tell them that they're doing good. Look how quick they were able to get the guys who did the shooting down there in Grandance, right? The sugar mill roundabout area. Well, they call this Saigon. I'm saying they're doing a good job. They have a lot of room where they need to improve. We know, because we want a proactive force, not just a reactive force. But they have been improving, doing a number of random searches, and you have checkpoints left, right, and center. So they're doing some good work. And we want to commend them. We want to applaud them. Right? The Commissioner of Police, Don McKenzie, and his team. We want to commend them and applaud them. That is how it's supposed to be. If you're doing good, we applaud you. If you're messing up, we deal with you accordingly. Nothing wrong with that. But I am saying those on the opposition side, all they can do is to condemn. All they can do is to criticize. All they can do is to tear down. Because they don't want good for Grenada. Don't believe that the NNP forces, right, the opposition forces, want good for this place. All they want is power. All they want is to come back in power. And you ask yourself, but you don't want to come back in power when Grenada is doing well, when Grenada's economy is doing well, when things are looking up? Why you want to come back in power when Grenada is flat on its face? But you want to bring it to that position. You want to mash it up. You want to wreck it. You want to bring it to the lowest so you can easily climb on the back of Grenada and come back into power. It's really sad, because one would say, boy, these guys, they were there before. They governed for quite a while. They should be happy that good things are coming Grenada way. And people are happier because they are becoming more and more prosperous. Things are happening in the country. So you should be happy about that. But they're not. They are bitter. They're angry. They vex that Grenada is getting praises for the Citizenship by Investment program. And we are realizing a lot of cash, and that money can be used for hospitals, for schools, and so on. Listen to one of those surrogates.
And remember, Mr. Nazim Burke is a CBI. Brother Naz is a CBI agent now, Yeah. But amongst the CBI agents, that is a cause for concern. They've been speaking about it. Because there can be serious damage while other countries were not taking in people. So you have a CBI program in St. Kitts. They were not taking Russian applicants. Since the war started in the Ukraine, they had cut it off, as Grenada had cut it off at that point in time. On returning to office, this administration reopened taking applications from Russia, where Dominica wasn't doing it, St. Kitts wasn't doing it, St. Lucia wasn't doing it, right? Dominica wasn't doing it. So all these islands in the OECS, they were not taking applications under the CBI program from Russians. Grenada was the only one, so Grenada get all. So if it was a situation where the other islands were doing it, Grenada would not reach $1 billion because they did not have that pipeline of all the Russian people going to one place. That wasn't a situation that existed. You would have had all the other countries having a share of that money. Instead, Grenada hogged the market. But the other part of this, you have to...
Yes. So this guy who is a spokesperson, he is a talk show host for the opposition forces in the country. And you may recall Keith Mitchell speaking about him with Cell Phone Gate some years ago, right? Keith spoke about the guy some years ago.
This is just a symptom of the problem. Now, if you left the government service and you're no longer government, what you're doing, you know you have a phone, you're using it, you know the government paying. How could you sit there and accept that? You must have a conscience. So I'm just saying that, colleagues and Grenadians, friends of Grenada, this is the kind of thing. You know, it has happened in other countries, People have lost their jobs on the basis of this. It is just not fair, but some of us have to have a conscience. And I know sometimes I go to Trinidad, and I reach in Trinidad, I go in the VIP lounge, try to reach home. I can't make a call. They cut me off. But somebody not working with the government could be making thousands of dollars a telephone. Something ain't right. We have a responsibility to the taxpayers.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that was Keith Mitchell there. And, Keith Mitchell still goes on that show because he's desperate. Really. He's desperate. And it's really a flagship program of NNP. So this guy hosts that show. He's the host of that show. But I am saying to you, how could you love Grenada and you vex because Grenada's citizenship by investment program is getting big props and ratings regionally and internationally because it's one of the best. It is one of the best. And people are coming towards Grenada for citizenship because it's well run, it's well managed. No convestor, no crook came in under this program since the NDC took power. So in the first quarter of this year, we saw the figures for the economy. The economy is doing well. And it also looked at 2023 with the CBI program and the kind of revenues that we were able to get as a country from this program. $1 billion or so over a period of time, right? The year. But this guy and the opposition forces, they angry, they vex, they blue. They just cannot imagine that this thing is happening, where this program is properly managed and Grenada is benefiting significantly from it. So they're cooking up some stories, they're concocting stories to make you believe that the Russians are getting access to the program because they know that there's a war between Russia and Ukraine and there are certain sanctions and, Europe, America, they have things in place. But the government of Grenada is working with the government of the United States and Europe and so on to make sure that this program remains intact and sound. But the NNP and the surrogates, they have been out there talking all kind of stuff about the program. In fact, some opposition forces predicted that in 2023, 2024, bad things will befall the program. And the European Union go do this, and the United States go do this. That is what they're hoping would happen. They want bad things to come to Grenada. They don't want Grenada to get revenues, to get money, to build roads, to build schools, to repair medical stations, to pay salaries, to invest in the development of youth or women or the elderly or agriculture or education. They don't want that. Anytime they see some good news, they get pissed, they get angry. In fact, a certain individual from Carriacou was overheard, after seeing the news regarding night landing for Carriacou. Overheard saying, what do you think? What do you think? Yeah, what's that effect? What do you think? Yeah, a solid senior person within the opposition forces based in Carriacou, when he saw the news that the Honorable Tevin Andrews and the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, they are fulfilling their promise to the Carriacou and Petite Martinique people to bring night landing to the airport in Carriacou and to upgrade the airport. Those opposition forces, they're angry, they vex, they're blue. But why should you be?
Work has officially begun on installing night landing facilities at Carriacou's Lauriston Airport, marking a significant milestone in enhancing the airport's capabilities. The project includes installing obstruction lights to facilitate safe and efficient aircraft landings at night, as well as pavement retrofitting to improve the airport's operational capacity. This development fulfills a promise made by Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell, who is also the Minister of Infrastructure and Physical Development, Public Utilities, Civil Aviation and Transportation. The work is being led by representatives from the Grenada Airports Authority, the Grenada Bureau of Standards, and other key stakeholders.
Right, so night landing is coming to Carriacou. But I am saying the opposition forces, they are angry. Why you're angry with good things? You should not be. And you want to tell me that you're genuine about Grenada? That you want to come back into power to govern who? To run what? I really want to know, because these people are out there giving you the impression that they like Grenada and they want good for Grenada. But on their programs and in their forums, you get that sense that they bitter, they angry, they vex. That anytime good things come to Grenada, a good report. You remember the oversight committee looking at Grenada's finance and, the economy and how healthy it is. They gave a really good report, a favorable report on the performance of the government and the economy and how they're managing the economy. The NNP had surrogates and pundits. They were quick to come out and criticize the report. They know nothing about economics. They know nothing about managing, but about management of an economy. But they're quick to come out and criticize the report. Experts, giving a good bill of health to the Grenada economy and talking about how Grenada's economy is well managed and things are happening for our people. Who tell you? They vex, they angry, they blue. But why should you be? If you love your country, why should you be angry when a good report comes out on the economy and how the economy is being managed? You should be happy. The citizenship by the citizenship by investment program doing well. You should be happy. Why you vex? Why? The economy in the first quarter of this year did extremely well, way better than predicted, way better than they projected. The economy is doing well. But we all should be very happy about that. Why should you be angry? Why should you be bitter? Why should you be sour with the fact that the economy is doing well? You should welcome that. You should applaud that. But no, the NNP surrogates and goons, boy, they angry, they bitter. They can't stop criticizing the whole program and the economy. You accuse the NDC during the campaign of not being able to manage this and manage that. Now they're showing you that they can manage. They're showing you that they can really bring this country to a level that we all can feel proud of. You're vexed, you're angry, you're bitter. So that first quarter report came out, and actual revenue and grants collected was 371.8 million EC for the first quarter of 2024. EC 1 billion in revenue through the Citizenship by Investment Program was realized for 2023. The government paid 50.8 million in principal debt and interest payments for the first quarter of 2024. For the first quarter of 2024, Grenada earned more revenue and grants than was projected in 2024 budget. The projection was for EC 342.2 million, but records from the Ministry of Finance showed the actual revenue and grants collected was 371.8 million. At the same time, total expenditure for the period was 267.1 million, which is less than projected. All right, expenditure, what you spend and so on. The fiscal report for the first quarter showed that the projected expenditure was 316 316.6 million. The Citizenship by Investment Program actual revenue for the first quarter was 117.3 million, but the projection was for 95.9 million. So they actually realized way more than what they projected. Grenada earned more than 1 billion in revenue through the Citizenship by Investment Program for the year 2023, according to the latest data released by the Ministry of Finance. So the NNP, they're angry. They're angry because the Citizenship by Investment Program is doing well. People are getting more and more employment in construction, in tourism, and we can go on and on and on. But it is because of the good management coming from the NDC, because they are managing the economy way better than how the NDC, how the Keith Mitchell led administration ruled over Grenada, right? And managed Grenada. The NDC administration is managing the economy way better than when Keith Mitchell was there. We are realizing more revenues, more construction work is taking place in Grenada, in Carriacou, in PT Martinique, and we can go on and on. Private sector, public sector, things are happening for our people. More money is being pumped into education. You have free tuition support, the free hot meal program. I mean, all those programs are not perfect, right? But at least those programs are in place and helping people. More and more schools are being built and refurbished in some cases. I am saying things are happening. Things are happening for our people. So I'm challenging the opposition forces. Why are you so bitter? Why are you so angry? Why? Come out and applaud good things now. A favorable report came out on the Citizenship by Investment Program. Well, come out and applaud it now. Why go there and condemn the program? Why? A good report came out on the economy. Come out and applaud it now. And acknowledge that the NDC is doing a fantastic job. Well, that would make you less. That would make you lose support. It's amazing, you know. I had a laugh because the same NNP surrogates and those pundits of the NNP had criticized the fact that I am on this program over the many years, asking people to pledge to keep the program going financially. You hear me? But if you look at their program, this particular program that the NNP has always had, you would see the go-to FET.
And remember, Mr. Nazim Burke is a CBI. Brother Naz is a CBI agent now, you know. Yeah.
They have on that thing, donate. Let me just. Every single day, they're being exposed. Now they're in opposition. They're making it known that they're taking in donations to keep the operations going in whatever way. You understand the point? But they're using GoToFet, a good partners platform. All right? It's amazing. It's amazing. But I am saying I am happy that Grenadians are able to see through the opposition forces in the country. They are not deserving of power in this country again. And we must make sure that that happens, that we prevent them at all costs from getting power in this country again. That's so, so, so important. Because you don't need to be a genius to understand what is taking place here. This thing is clear cut. Clear cut. They're out of ideas. They lack vision. They have no plan. They have no solution for nothing. All they can do is to condemn and to criticize. They are not serious about Grenada moving to the next level. They are not. And it's been exposed every single day. And we have to call them out, We have to call them out and say, but wait, you want to come back and govern this place that we call home. Okay. But what are your ideas? What are you proposing? What are your plans? What would you do differently? Because you were there for so many years. What would you do differently? Yes, we know you're criticizing, you're always condemning and condemning, but what would you do differently to transform Grenada? Because all you do is to condemn and criticize and criticize and criticize. We want solutions. A friend told me today, she said to me, Boy Kim, my family members and friends in the diaspora and here in Grenada, they just want good for Grenada. She made it clear. She said, we just want good for Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. They want Grenada to develop. They want this place to be better. They want opportunities to flow for our people. So the opposition must become more constructive and more responsible. You cannot just be there condemning, criticizing. Even good things that are happening, you're criticizing it. You're quick to run out and say all manner of dirty things about it. Come on. The Citizenship by Investment program is doing well, and you need to commend it and applaud it. This is another program of the opposition forces where they're criticizing the program.
Persuade have said, whether you Chinese, you're Russian, you're African, the first thing and the only thing that this government look at is the human being.
The program is open to everybody. Whether you are Chinese, whether you are Russian, whether you are African. The first thing this administration sees is a human being. I like them.
They want need to ask you a question.
They're good. Yes. Mr. Carr.
How many Palestinians are here presently?
But I'm not in a position to...
What are the purpose here? What is the purpose of being here?
CBI. But some of them may have come through the CBI. Some of them are merchants, right? And so, right?
So if we follow the money, we go get it.
Definitely.
So they want to help me follow the money because you have an affinity for those people, and so I go lead that one up to you. So when we come back here next Sunday, I want you to tell me about if any money pass. And how much money, if money pass, and if yes, how much? And if so, to how much people? And if so, who receiving it? And if so, who having meetings? And if so, is the US monitoring the meetings? I don't know. I'll leave that homework for you, Devon.
We finish it, Nazi?
No, I just we done passport and thing and all that is passport.
Oh, all that is passport. Okay.
And I want to ask the person in charge of immigration. I know what I'm saying, don't correct me. Let me do my thing for myself.
Immigration.
And passport.
Immigration and passport.
I want to know if any instructions have reached you in reference to Devon friends, the Palestinians. Now, I don't know, and the people tell me to ask that.
Right. So you see, that is what they're doing. They're out there trying to tarnish the good reputation the program has. Right? We have one of the best program in the region and maybe the world. the people who manage the program is well respected, well regarded, and they do a lot of due diligence. We have one of the best immigration department in the world. They have received Humpton Awards, right? The head of the immigration department is well regarded, well respected. And we can go on and on. Their efficiency, their due diligence, their background check, but these guys don't believe that they're operating or saying these things in isolation. They have a plan. They want to stain the good name of Grenada. They want to see this program tarnish so that revenues will not come to a beautiful country. In my belief, right? Revenues will not come to our country, and our roads will not be fixed. Our schools will not be fixed. Investment will not be made in youth development and agriculture and education, and we can go on and on. That is what they want. That is exactly what they want. Because if they get that, then the general public will lose confidence in the administration. They want that to happen because nothing is coming their way. They thought that one or two of those union guys would instigate something and they're going to see a protest or two on the streets. It's not happening. It's not working for them, right? It's just not working. Then you have good reports, favorable reports coming in from the CBI program for the, from experts and on the economy and everything like that. More jobs are being created in the construction sector, more jobs in tourism, more jobs in agriculture. Things are happening. You have a lot of infrastructural projects taking place. Things are progressing. People are at work. More and more people are going back to school, going back to TAMCC, going back to NULO. More and more people are seeking, higher education because government make it easy for that to happen. Then you see government not giving up when it comes to the social programs, the social safety net programs. The poor relief assistance is still being paid. In fact, from tomorrow, that money rolling out. And folks are getting more. The people who are 65 years and older, and those with disabilities and so on, they are getting $500 instead of $300. They're getting $500 now. And then you have the housing repair program that continues. People are getting materials. People's homes are being, repaired, built right here in Grenada. A lot of roads are being constructed. You have the hot meal program that continues. There are some little hiccups here, there, and everywhere, but that program continues. The free tuition program, all the different social safety net programs, they continue. That didn't stop. And then you have people, seeing opportunities coming their way, where they're getting assistance in agriculture, assistance in youth development. We have community centers being refurbished. We have playing fields. They lighten playing fields. They resurfacing playing fields. Basketball courts, tennis courts, netball courts. The Molyneux project that coming on nicely. The Calivini project coming on nicely. And there's some other projects throughout the country that are happening in Carriacou, in Petit Martinique. People are happy. And if you want to know if the government is doing well and things that people are happy about it, you see a person like me, for example, who's out here speaking on behalf of, defending and promoting the government. When I go places, I have been to Petit Martinique, for example, on the weekend, right? Petit Martinique Regatta. And everybody knows Kem Jones. Everybody calling, hailing, everybody happy. Carriacou, don't even talk about Carriacou. Every corner, Kem Jones, Kem Jones, Kem Jones, Kem Jones. Here in Grenada, same thing. Everywhere I turn. Because the minute time people start to feel, somewhat whatever, what you find would happen, they go take it out on somebody, they go take it out on people. You don't see an increase in the amount of people viewing the opposition forces program. No, you're not seeing an increase. And if in their meetings, you're not seeing new faces. The same old cadre of people, same old faces at their meetings. They're not able to attract anything new, anybody new. No. So people are not gravitating towards them. People are not. And it says something. It means that people are still happy with this government in power. People are still pleased with this government in power. I mean, they would have programs and sometimes people going to view for curiosity's sake. That's kind of normal. That's normal. But we have not seen any wave. Because remember, they predicted that NDC going to fail, right? They say, well, after 6 months, they don't make it 6 months, well, we make 6 months. They say, well, they're not going to make it for a year, we make the year. They say, they're not going to make it for a year and a half, we make the 1 year and a half. Then they say, no, they're not going to make it for 2 years, or we're coming up to 2 years. When they realize we passed 2 years, then they will say, well, they're not going to make it for 2 years and a half. And then we'll move it to 3 years and 4 years and 5. And by the time they check, election is here, NDC back in power with more seats. I'm telling you, because Grenadians are concerned in the development of Grenada. They want good for Grenada. They want to see Grenada develop. And you're dealing with a younger population. In fact, I got a ride with a good friend today. He said the mistake NNP making is that they believe they're dealing with the same set of people who were supportive of them in the 90s and the early 20s. You're dealing with a younger generation of people. 65 to 70% of the population is under 45, under 50%. Sorry, 50 years. 70%, between 65 and 70% of Grenada's population is under 50. You're dealing with younger people who are tech savvy, who following what's going down, who are not stupid. And they still believe that they can target constituencies and not deal with the national. They still believe that. So what they're doing, they're pumping all our resources in Carriacou. They're pumping all our resources in St. John. They're pumping all our resources in St. Patrick East and St. Patrick West. Right? They're pumping all our resources in the 4 constituencies in St. Andrew. That's what they're doing as a strategy. Because they believe if they target these constituencies, they might be able to come off. But here it is. All they need to do is to check Keith Mitchell's record in the last how many elections. When he going into the election, he don't go back into the election with the same candidates or the same ministers or whoever ran before and lost, or some who won and become very unpopular. Come on, that's kind of common sense. There will be MPs, members of parliament, who are ministers of government, who ran in the last election, who will not run in the upcoming election. That's kind of common sense. That's common sense. And you would get a more popular person to run for the government, for the NDC in that constituency, in many of those constituencies. That is what's going to happen, right? Because people are approved, people are happy with the performance of the government of Grenada, right? There are 1 or 2 MPs that people are not too pleased with their performance and so on. But when you go into the next election, you have 4 or 5 of them, you change them, 6, 7 of them, you change them, you go with fresh candidates. So those who are performing well and those who are liked and then and love and so on, you leave them on. And those who, you say, hey, you go get a work somewhere in some ministry, some department. You're going to be some ambassador, you're going to be some, minister, you'll get a senator position and still be a minister. Nothing wrong with that. But you're not going to run there, but you're going to support the person. And we win again. That's what Keith Mitchell NNP used to do, Yeah. Every election, there are 5, 6 new faces running. That's kind of normal. But I am saying to you that the people are proud. They are happy with the government of Grenada, the performance of the government, and the things that are happening in the country. And they want that to continue. Right? And we must do all in our power to make sure that the opposition forces never return to power in this country again. We must make sure that happens. And don't worry with them. More people are registering to support the NDC administration, the government. More people. All right, so Lennox Brathwaite, my good friend, that's not a tip. That's not a strategy. That's well known. All right, that's no hidden secret. That's no secret. That's well known, my brother. I am saying at the end of the day, more people are registering to support this agenda, to keep it alive and well. And people are encouraged to keep registration going. Don't worry, they want to put a new computerized system in place and so on. That would not change your status as a registered voter and so on. No, that would not happen. Just that the system that they have is kind of outdated and it's not able to, take in certain things, certain information. But I am saying to you, we have to continue to talk about the positive things that are happening in the country. Because a lot of positive things are happening in the different constituencies. Some MPs are better at marketing than others. They're able to market and push certain things and get the message out there. But I am saying further, we need to stay positive, remain focused, talk about the good things that are happening in the country. Don't worry them. They would remain in opposition for a long, long, long time. Right? Don't worry with NNP and their surrogates and all those folks out there. They are bitter, they are angry, they hate to hear anything good about Grenada and what's happening in the country. They're just bitter. The independence celebrations that turned out to be really, really good and successful. They criticize it. They condemn it. It's what they say. The CBI program now doing very, very well. They're criticizing it. Right? They criticize the RGPF. But now the RGPF is stepping up their game. They are getting more of the illegal guns. They are arresting those folks who are involved in criminality, and they're doing some work. They're searching. They're doing quite a number of things happening. All right? But look, I am saying it. They're still condemning the RGPF because they want to see instability within the RGPF. That's what they want. What they want, the opposition forces in Grenada, all they want to see is chaos, confusion and instability, and they're not getting it. They're not getting that. A good partner tell me he went and searched for a certain program on Real FM. Normally when they do programs on Real FM and other stations and so on, it will be uploaded. It will be uploaded on Facebook, right? So you're going to get it on Facebook. Well, my partner say go and look for the program on the Real FM. Up to now, we can't see it. They can't upload that program, boy. Anthony Boswin really put that guy in the place. Anthony Boswin straight name, boy. You hear me? So they refuse, whoever involved in that, they refuse. You hear me? Refuse to upload exactly that. They refuse. Because they're afraid. Or else we would have had that long time for you. But they refuse. But many people heard what was said on that program. So there are a lot of people who used to be with the NNP, for example. But they have sense. They're coming out and they're talking. Just check it out. We have had more people coming out in recent times to condemn what is happening within NNP and exposing a lot of things in there than any time in the history of NNP. Yeah, and people are seeing through them now. And they're scared about that. They're scared because if you have a party who has serious instability, infighting and problems and chaos. You don't want that party to run any country. You're mad. You don't want that. And that is what we've seen in the NNP. They're chaotic. Serious problems. Serious problems within the NNP. And people are seeing it playing out openly on programs and just name it. So we have to just remain focused. We have to promote our party, defend our party, defend our government, promote our government. We need to encourage the folks within the party to up their PR game, right? Because it's important, huh? You have to up that PR game, because don't believe the opposition forces are not upping their PR game. We have to up our PR game to get more results, to get the message further out there. All right?
An unforgettable night awaits you. Join us for the much-awaited, much-anticipated St. George Northwest DNA Cruise, happening on Wednesday the 29th, May 2024. We are setting sail from the Carenage, St. George's, aboard the Rum Runner 2. Boarding starts at 7 p.m. sharp. Get ready to dance the night away with Ben Legs and Fisherman Jr., bringing you the hottest tunes whilst you dine and line. Come dressed in white and glow under the Caribbean stars. Your ticket includes a mouth-watering barbecue feast. Hurry, get your tickets today. Priced at $60. Call Tanya on 535-9937 or Alicia on 459-3621 or Shanda on 414-4893.
Right, so that's Jonathan Lacrette and the team. They have their cruise coming up. All right, they have their cruise coming up. So I am saying to us, let's remain focused. Let's understand what is at stake here. I know my friend Stephen Fletcher, he sent me something here. All right, so that's Thursday. All right, so there will be an opening ceremony. That's for that newly refurbished Grantin Farm Access Road on Thursday, May the 23rd, starting at 2 p.m. Granton or Grantin, New Hampshire, St. George. All right, for more information, call 442-0105. So again, the folks in Willis, the Grantin area, New Hampshire area, they're inviting you to come out to the official opening of that road. They spend quite a bit on that road. So they're asking, Dr. Stephen Fletcher and the team, they're doing a fantastic job there. So the folks in Willis, in that area, please go there and be a part of that. Right. So again, just saying that not this Friday, but next Friday will be the celebrations for the 10th anniversary. So not this Friday, next Friday from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. From 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Who's that person calling me? Hello? Uh-huh. What? Am I hearing you properly? Huh? Oh, you had to run. All right, okay. Thanks, man. Right, so yeah, a friend they called to say that Anthony Boswin really dealt with the Andrew Donald guy. He had to run. All right, yeah. So just saying again, I have the tickets, and I was saying earlier today, 90% or so of the tickets I still have. So if you out there and you want a ticket is $50, 50 EC to come to the event. It's at the Trade Center to celebrate 10 years with me being on radio and podcasting, 50 EC. A number of people linked me up today, and I'm going to follow up with them between now and Friday or so. The ticket's 50 EC. Even if you can't make it to come, you could still buy a couple of tickets as a form of appreciation. All right. If you want to link me, you can. You can call me on street, right? 415-4817, or you can WhatsApp me on 415-4817. 1473-415-4817. It's 1473-4817. And you can get the tickets. I can drop it off for you. Or you can meet me at a point and take it from there. All right. If you want to sponsor a couple tickets, no problem. If you want to just donate something towards the event, no problem. All right. So local foods will be on sale, drinks will be on sale, and then we're gonna have a nice time, a nice little party to celebrate the event. There will be a kind of ceremony component to it, and then we're gonna just free up and party up, right? Party and so on. So it's at the Trade Center, Annex and Gazebo area there. The tickets 50 EC, and as I said, I have the tickets. So if you want to get a couple tickets, and even if you can't make it to come to the event, it would be nice if you can buy a couple tickets as a form of support and appreciation. In fact, I was in tongue today, and a good partner said, "Boy, I ain't know if I gonna make it, but hold $100. That's 2 tickets, right? Don't worry, and you don't need to give anybody. Keep it towards your expense and so on for the event. You see the point? So again, I want to encourage you, if you have not yet purchased a ticket, I have there's a whole pile of tickets. All right, so I have the tickets. A whole pile of the tickets. I have them here. I have nearly all the tickets here. They're all here with me. All right. So if you want to buy a couple of tickets, you can. It's up to you. If you can't afford to pay the $50, then so be it. But at the end of the day, you have to pay the $50. So you can't come there and tell me, okay, I'm just listening to your program and I know you and so on. No, you would not be even allowed to come on the compound there. Even if you have money to come and buy a drink or food, no. The event is 50 EC, and I made it 50 EC for a reason, so that more and more people can come and be a part of it. All right? So if you can't afford the 50, don't come. You wouldn't be able to come. In fact, it's 50 EC for the ticket. You come by, you can patronize, buy some food, and buy a couple of drinks. No problem with that. All right? And enjoy yourself. That's what it is. You know me. I say it as is. If you cannot afford, so be it. If you can afford, buy a couple of tickets, sponsor, support. Nothing wrong with that. A friend asked me to say, hey, Cam Jones, hey, I go come by. You have free food and free drinks now. No free food, no free drinks. You come, you buy your drinks and you buy your food. And you party all night from 4 until 10 p.m. You free up, you celebrate with me. Nothing wrong with that. You hear me? But no free food, no free drinks. Come, you have to buy your food and you have to buy your drinks. All right? So we're celebrating 10 years. I'm celebrating 10 years on radio, on podcast. If you want to give something towards that initiative, you can. You WhatsApp me or you call me up or something. If you can't make it, you could still sponsor a couple of tickets or give a couple of tickets towards the undertaking. Nothing wrong with that. It's a blessing. All right? And it's, I look forward to having you come out and celebrate with me. A lot of people out there, okay, I'm just listen to your program. I was not on Thursday and Friday. All right, and Monday, a bank holiday. Boy, calls for so. Hey, how are you? But no, I'm not getting that amount of calls or tickets. Huh? I'm not getting that amount of calls or ticket to buy a ticket or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. No, you're not getting that. Well, I hear you. How are you this? I say, okay, all right. But yeah, so again, there are some people who can actually buy a ticket or 2. But that's what it is. So I have to kind of know as you move forward. But I have the tickets. If you want to, you can. The tickets is 50 EC. Looking forward to you buying a ticket or 2 as a form of support, a form of appreciation after 10 years. All right? After 10 years. I say to a friend, there are some people who support this program for the last 10 years, the last 9 years, the last 8 years, the last 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They have been given financially to the program. Right? Keep it going. And there are a lot of people listening to the program. I know. Thousands of people. On Facebook, for example, let me see, just giving you a little rundown. On Facebook, for example, for the last couple of programs, you get to know the people who view your programs and so on. It's not hard. This thing is no rocket science. It's easy. You go on, you check it out. Let me see. So, let me see. So, for example, let me get it. Right. So, let's see, the last couple of programs, 8,600 people on Facebook, 6,600 people on Facebook, 12,000 people on Facebook, 8,500 people on Facebook, 8,100 persons or people, 9,200 people, 7,100, 8,600, 6,800, 6,800, 8,500, right? 8,300, 7,800, 8,500, 8,300, 9,300, 10,400, 7,800, 10,100, 13,000, 200. And you could just go on and on, you check it out. 9,500, right? 9,800, 9,700. And they all there, 10,000, 9,100. And you can go and, so I kind of know for the last couple of months, for example, right? So just kind of looking at just the last couple of months. That's just on Facebook. And then, on YouTube, because we're not there too long, you might have 2,000 people or 3,000 people there, and then you have radio. So the people on radio, they're also different. So you have next 4, 5, 6,000 people on radio. It might be even more. 8,000, 9,000, 10 people listening on radio. So I know there are a lot of people, on average, 15 to 20,000 people would listen to the program. And remember, we have a morning program, we have a night program. So there are some people who listen in the morning and they can't afford to listen in the night. So there are some people who listen in the night and they don't listen in the daytime. So you understand the point? But I'm telling you that I know. So you have a good amount of people listening to the program. And at least if you can purchase one ticket or 2 or 3 or just one, right? It will go a long way. You understand the point? As a form of appreciation, as a form of saying thanks for the 10 years of service, right? We have had 2 MPs so far who bought tickets. So Ron Redhead, he bought tickets, the Honorable Ron Redhead and the Honorable Dennis Cornwall. So 2 of them, they bought tickets so far, right? We have how many other MPs? They have not yet bought tickets. I hope that they will between now and then. And once they do, I will let you know. All right? But for now, the Honorable Dennis Cornwall, he bought some tickets, and the Honorable Ron Redhead bought some tickets. So, folks, I want to wish you all the best. I look forward to seeing you not this Friday, but next Friday. We have a nice time next Friday from 4 p.m., 10 p.m. A nice little after work time, nice little vibes. Free up yourself. It's not no formal thing. Simple, casual, short pants, a short jeans pants, a dress, simple things. All right? Come and free up and eat something, drink something, and spend some time because it's from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Take good care. You know my WhatsApp number, 1473-415-4817. You know my that's the street number 2. I give you another typical example. This morning I announced that I have 5 pressure machines that a good friend sent to give out. In total, I had 135 people calling me for the 5 pressure machines. All right? The 5 pressure machines. 135 people message or call me for that pressure machine. You understand the point? All right. You guys kind of get a sense of what's going down. Good. So I want to wish you all the best, folks. Have a wonderful night. Peace and love.